Hello everyone, I'm Sara, a daughter of Iran, and I welcome you to another story. This time it's from a different book that I don't actually have it here. I read it online. Kalila and Dimna. It's a 2,000-year-old book, originated in India. So I know I have a lot of Indian friends here, so help me in pronouncing it. Kalila and Dimna are actually two jackals who are telling these intertwined stories. But since centuries ago, the book was translated into a wonderful Persian version by Nasrullah Munshi. It was so loved that it became a core part of our literary heritage. So let's see what this one's got for us. Our tale begins in a lush green landscape, a place of breathtaking beauty in the heart of Kashmir, a city in India, obviously. It was a place where mountains stood tall and majestic, and ancient trees made a safe haven for all creatures. This area was a small paradise for animals and birds, but its beauty also made it a sought-after hunting ground for man. Among all these trees, there was one that was taller and more majestic than the rest. On its highest branch lived a wise and elderly crow. He spent his days watching the world below with a sharp eye, learning lessons from every event unfolded. He understood that a calm appearance did not always guarantee a peaceful reality, and that to survive, one had to remain vigilant. One day, the peaceful silence of the valley was broken by a human. A hunter with a face that spoke of cunning and patience. He entered the valley, and the crow from his high perch watched his every move. He saw the hunter carefully and patiently spreading a large, sturdy net on the ground, and then he scattered fresh, tempting grains of wheat over the net. The grains, like small stars, glittered under the sun, promising an easy meal. The hunter then hid himself among the bushes and waited. The crow, knowing this was a deadly trap, watched with a heavy heart, praying that no innocent creature would fall for it. Soon enough, a flock of pigeons descended from the sky. Their leader was a beautiful and wise colored dove. Unaware of the danger below, they saw only the gleaming grains. Great! They dived down towards the seeds. In an instant, the net sprang shut and they were all caught. Their frantic flapping and panicked cries broke the valley's peaceful silence. Seeing his success, the hunter ran toward the net with a cry of joy. The pigeons, now fully aware of their problem, began to struggle in a panic. Each tried to get free on its own, but their efforts only tightened the net more and more. Their wings became tangled, and the ropes of the net squeezed their bodies tighter. Right in the middle of this panic and fear, the colored bird's voice cut through it all, calm and firm. Friends, stop struggling. By trying to escape alone, we are only pulling ourselves tighter and closer to death. We must unite. We must move as one. The birds thought, okay, now how can we do anything together? We're literally trapped. We cannot even move. But the colored pigeon had a plan. So, a few moments later, at a single powerful command from the leader, they all flapped their wings at once with all their might. To the hunter's great surprise, the whole net was lifted from the ground, and the pigeons, still entangled but united, flew up into the sky. The hunter, now angry and frustrated, ran after them, hoping they would eventually get tired and fall. But no, the crow, not having anything better to do because he was a freaking crow, was so impressed that decided to follow them to see what happens next. The colored bird, knowing they were not safe yet, led her flock to a new destination. She guided them towards the home of her dear friend, a wise mouse called Zebra. The colored bird flew the flock into Zebra's burrow under a tree and called out to him. When the mouse saw them, he started to cry. "What happened to you, my old friend?" "We saw the grains, and the dust of it made us blind to the trap," said the colored dove. "If it's written in destiny, the sun will go cold and the moon will go dark. The fish will go up and the bird will be trapped." on earth. And here we are. The mouse immediately began to chew the ropes around the colored dove's feet, but she stopped him. "Please cut the ropes around the other pigeons first." "But you've been so good to me," said Zebra. "I've always wanted to get a chance to make it up to you. And you're the one who saved them, so..." "Not really," said the colored bird. "If they hadn't tried to flap their wings all at the same time, we would have never gotten out of that trap. It was all of us cooperating together. They followed my command without knowing if it would work or not. They trusted me to bring them here, and saving them is the priority. And you are my friend. If you free me first, you might get tired or distracted and leave the others. But if you set them free first, you're never gonna leave me behind." Now that's a leader. Zebra, moved by her speech, said, "There's one thing certain now. After this incident, all of them are going to trust you much more than before." So he chewed the ropes of the other pigeons one by one, and finally he cut the last rope and freed the colored dove. The pigeons, all free, flew back home, and the hunter, exhausted and defeated and probably lost, gave up his pursuit. Now, this might be interesting to know that the book, even though it's mainly about animals and is always set through the mouths of animals to one another, is in its nature a political book. Like, I read in a classic story that someone said, beware that that person is reading Kalila and Dimna, which means he's thinking about becoming the next king and overthrowing this kingdom. So it's really interesting if you look at it from a political perspective. The crow brought us this story to remind us all that these pigeons didn't win with brute force or cunning, but with teamwork, trust, and wisdom. But more importantly, I think the story is about the power of great leadership, which is not about gaining power and control. If you don't care about serving others and not have the patience and selflessness to put the needs of the group before your own, then no one's going to trust you to put you as their leader. I mean, look at all the world's great leaders at the moment, right? But most importantly, we also learned that none of this would have happened if the crow had actually fucking said something in the first place, and that you should never trust any content creator, even if the message is really good. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Daughter of Iran, and like the video. See you next week. Bye!